the woman was horrified to realize that every time her stepsister sang, she would always step within 3 feet of her, and somehow, she would always be the first to sing the woman's original songs. After performing them, she would even turn around and accuse the woman of plagiarism. Unwilling to accept this, the woman immediately sang a song she had just written. But to her shock, no matter what she sang, her stepsister could perfectly predict the next line. The woman was utterly stunned. Little did she know, this strange occurrence would soon ruin her reputation in the music industry. Fans and reporters ridiculed her for being a plagiarist. That day, after a performance, the situation escalated into chaos. A crowd of 100,000 people trampled her to death right on stage. Even in her final moments, the woman couldn't figure out when exactly her stepsister had stolen her original songs. But in the next second, she opened her eyes again. To her shock, she had returned to 3 days before the competition. Recalling the terrifying scene she had just witnessed, her heart was still pounding in fear. But she knew, being reborn meant that God was giving her a second chance. She swore to herself that she would uncover how her stepsister had managed to steal her songs and make her experience the same suffering she endured in her past life. At that moment, she suddenly noticed that her fiancé was particularly interested in her new song. Without hesitation, she snatched it away and told him to get lost. Thinking back to her previous life, when her stepsister framed her, her fiancé had been right there. He had witnessed her entire creative process, yet he still chose to side with the stepsister and hurt her. Now that everything was clear, she swore to make both that scumbag and her stepsister pay a heavy price. After getting rid of her fiancé, the woman quickly composed a brand new song. Even her manager was in awe when he heard it. He exclaimed that it was a surefire hit, and confidently claimed that the Song of the Year award would definitely be hers. Hearing this, the woman felt certain that as long as she prevented her stepsister and scumbag fiancé from stealing her work, she would be able to win the title of Best Female Singer this year. But just then, she casually checked her phone, only to discover that her stepsister was trending online, and the song she had just created had already been posted word for word. The woman was utterly dumbfounded. She collapsed onto the floor in shock. She immediately began to think at full speed. The only person who had heard her song was standing right in front of her, her manager. Deciding to wait and observe his reaction, she calmly said that she would write an even better song. This time, she deliberately sang only the first half of the song, leaving the second half unfinished, just to see what would happen. As expected, her suspicions were right. Her manager secretly recorded her singing. After he left, she immediately checked social media, and in the next second, she saw that her stepsister had already announced a new song teaser. At that moment, she realized the ones who had betrayed her weren't just her stepsister and scumbag fiancé. Even her manager had been scheming against her. Without hesitation, she fired her manager on the spot. Now that all obstacles were gone, she could finally focus on creating her music. 3 days passed quickly. The woman stepped onto the competition stage with full confidence. Now that no one was working against her in the shadows, she could finally compete fairly. She was eager to see how her cunning stepsister would manage to compete with only half a song. But the moment she heard her stepsister's singing, her mind completely collapsed. At that moment, she seriously suspected that her stepsister had planted a surveillance device